Welcome to Issues That Matter. I'm Cynthia Pooler. My guest today is Johnathon Alexander, and Johnathon is on the border, and he's going to talk about the migrant situation. So, when you emailed me, you were saying about you sent me something about the drones. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, right now, Cynthia, we've got hundreds of drones flying all up and down the border. They're actually flying over on the American side of the border now. You got the two cartels down there in a major battle. They've got these drones armed with explosives, all kinds of different technology the cartel has. And now it's coming over onto the U.S. side.
Okay, when you say the cartels, who are we talking about?
We're talking about the Sinaloa cartel.
Okay, can you explain that to our listeners?
Well, the Sinaloa cartel is the ones that run the border, and basically, you don't come through that border without going through the cartel. You got to pay your dues. And
Okay.
right now, you got the two cartels down there battling for power over the border.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to keep in mind, Cynthia, the drug trafficking, human trafficking is a multi-trillion-dollar operation. So, with that being said, of course, these cartels that they want the power over one another of who runs this border.
Okay. And
The
it's
other the other
all
thing, I want to go into detail real quick. We
okay.
just lost more American lives today over on the Mexico side. We had a 70-year-old and an 80-year-old woman shot dead. Their vehicle was shot all to heck. I posted it on my Facebook as well for the world to see it, which is under Johnathon Alexander on Facebook, and also under livebordernews.com on Facebook. And this has just been ongoing. And right where they were shot dead at, they also found a mass grave site as well. So the crisis is intensifying every day on the border.
Let me ask you this question. We're in the heat of the 2024 presidential election. I'm going to give you two scenarios. I want you to tell me, what do you think will happen in each scenario? If Kamala Harris wins, is the migrant crisis going to increase?
Well, right now, the migrant crisis has not changed. So the fake news channels want you to believe our borders are secure, they're safe. So I'm going to invite all your viewers out there, Republicans, Democrats, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, but what I am going to tell you is you better research your candidates. Under the Kamala Harris and Biden administration, what I will tell you is our borders have been wide open for the cartel, for the human smuggling, the drug trafficking. If you go to my live border news channel or my personal Facebook channel, you can see all my reporting on the border. Nothing has changed. The amount of illegals pouring in, the amount of fentanyl that's being seized constantly by Border Patrol daily, that's what's being caught. That's not including what's getting away from us.
Mm-hmm.
This is nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
But your fake news channels want you all to believe that our borders are secure. And that's why I'm inviting everybody. I don't care if we have groups of 30, 50, 100 people. Come down to the border. I'll take you on a tour. No questions asked. You come down and see for yourself the truth. And once you gather the truth, you record it, whatever you want to do. All I ask in return is that you share the truth with America of what's really happening. Because I can tell you right now, Cynthia, I've taken Democrats to the border and I've taken Republicans. And I don't care what side of the aisle they were on. But at the end of their tour, a lot of these senators and Republicans and Democrats were in tears. They could not believe what they witnessed. And the first words out of their mouth is, we didn't believe this crisis was this bad, or we thought the borders were secure. It's far from it, Cynthia. And
Now, I'm sorry.
that's why I'm inviting everybody. Because quite frankly, I'm not supporting the Republicans and I'm not supporting Democrats.
Mhm.
Every time the election comes up, it's all about border, 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 border.
Mhm.
Well, as soon as they get elected, nothing's done about the border. You look at our border crisis right now. Kamala Harris has had 4 years. She's a border Caesar.
Right.
You got the Biden administration, 4 years. Our borders have been wide open for these illegals. Now, here in Arizona, where I'm at, they've been trying to push it where these illegals can vote. Everything in the book. Again, there's a right way and a wrong way to come through our borders. And what's happening right now, it's a complete invasion on our southern borders here.
Mhm. So you're saying that the people coming into this country are being allowed to vote. Are they citizens or no?
No, these are illegals.
So are they given a voter registration form if they're not as citizens and said you
So,
can vote?
so what they're doing is allowing these guys to get driver's licenses. The second they get a license, you can go down and register to vote. It's that simple.
Is it just in Arizona or is it in other
Yeah,
states?
this is happening all over, Cynthia. And number two, I think I repeated it last time on your show. I'm going to say it one more time so that your viewing audience can research what I tell them. You look at New York Police Department, LAPD, Chicago PD. They're actually recruiting illegals to be in law enforcement. They're allowing these guys to carry guns, the whole 9 yards. Tell me why that's legal. Why are they allowing an illegal to become law enforcement to where they can go out and arrest you, the whole shebang? None
Wow.
of this is okay. I
So
mean, it's
I
enough to raise anybody's blood pressure if they knew the truth.
I mentioned if the Democrats get elected, but if Donald Trump and the Republicans get elected, he's going to have a tough time cleaning this mess up. Well, do you think has the wherewithal to do it?
Well, Cynthia, a lot of people hate Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
There's things Donald Trump does that drives me nuts. But I'm gonna level with you. You look at the 4 years that we had with Trump, we had a better economy. As it was actually a very strong economy. He was getting our borders secured like they should be. He was putting a stop to the invasions on the border. The second the Biden administration took office, what does he do? They take out sections of Trump's wall up and down the border for about a 50 to 100-mile radius up and down the borders. That's just in Arizona. That's not including Texas borders and elsewhere. It's that the illegals can pour through by the tens of thousands. To top it off, you're getting criminals that are being released from all the jail cells around the world, and they're being shipped right here to America because they know America's going to take them right in. We're getting the most hardest of the hardened criminals brought right into America. That's not hearsay. They know this. Even the Democrats know this.
Mm-hmm.
The Democrats are okay with it as long as they're not moving them next door to them. What about the rest of the American people?
Mm-hmm. Now you're on the border in the South. Are illegal aliens coming in through Canada?
They're coming in through Canada. They're coming in through New Mexico. They're coming in through way up on the other side of New York through the Canadian borders. I mean, you name it, they're coming in. East coast to west, they're coming in through our borders. Every border, in my opinion, is a border state because they're shipping all these illegals to every state now in the United States. That
Are
makes
they,
everybody a border state.
are they doing just cities or rural and suburban as well?
They're even doing it in towns with population of 2,000. So, I mean, you look at even like up north, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, even some people over by Kellogg, Idaho, and Wallace, Idaho, real small towns are starting to see illegals being brought in, put into the hotels. I mean, this is happening in the smallest and the biggest cities.
So if nothing is done about this, ultimately, what's going to happen to our country?
Our country's finished. That's what's going to happen. Our country right now, we have over 30 million illegals in our country as we speak. That's just under the Biden administration watch. 30 million. That's a large number.
Okay,
But
so
see,
out of that,
Cynthia, not to interrupt you, but let me explain this. That's 30 million of who they have processed and released into our country. That's not including the gotaways.
what are they?
God knows it could be another 30 million.
Oh, I see. Okay.
See, what happens down here in the Tucson sector, Sassafras, Arizona, where I'd be happy to take people on a tour to, or we can take them over to Yuma, Arizona on a tour, wherever they want to be at in this part of the country. I'll take them on a tour either or. But the point is, they'll put through 1,000 people in one hole that's open in the border wall that the Biden administration opened. 5 miles up the road in another big hole, your drug runners and other illegals are running through that don't want to be caught. So they create a distraction for Border Patrol by shipping in a large number over here, as they're shipping thousands up the road. And Border Patrol right now is so short-handed, they've got to tend to the first batch that comes through, that they don't have enough manpower to cover the other batches going through the holes up the road. So this is why I said, God only knows how many gotaways.
Okay, how bad do you think the fentanyl crisis is?
The fentanyl crisis, again, we've got enough fentanyl in our country right now to last 100 years. We've got enough fentanyl that comes to our borders daily to kill every last man, woman, and child here in America. That's what they know of. How about what they don't know of? So, like I said before, Cynthia, the cartel has already made threats that they're going to poison our waterways with fentanyl. They're going to hit our food supply. They're going to crop dust us in liquid form, powder form, in your buffets, in your restaurants, wherever. They've made this threat. And next thing I know, right after I reported on this, here you got people being poisoned in some of their waters now with fentanyl. They were in the ICU for it. And I haven't followed up to even see if those people survived. But you can Google search it all day. You'll see where it's happened, and it's starting to happen more and more. But imagine what would happen, Cynthia, if they hit our water supply. Our water supply, they drop a big brick of fentanyl in your water supply where you live, or LA, Chicago. Look at how many millions and millions of people would die. And if they do that all in the same day, like they're threatening to, we could lose easily 30 million Americans in one day.
So does Harris and Walz know this? Do they know this is happening?
They're quite aware. They know what's happening. But come on, I mean, here you got Walz. He's sitting there letting his city burn.
Mm-hmm.
These guys don't care about the law or the rule of law. or protecting the citizens. Walz couldn't even protect his own damn community, and that's public. That's public record.
Right.
How many days? What, 3, 4 days after his city was burning before he finally told the National Guard to take control of the situation?
Mm.
Why would you not do that immediately?
Mm.
Look at their law enforcement. They're defunding the police left and right. They just
Right.
passed $1 billion thing to defund the police. Walz did. It's and I shared that news. That just went out. So again, is this what America wants? Is this what the people want? I mean, here you got a gal running for president, Kamala Harris. The Democrats didn't even get a vote on whether they really wanted her running.
Right.
So the people had no, yeah. So the people had no say in their vote. If I was the Democrats, I'd be pretty damn pissed off about it, and I
Mm.
would be.
So, the jails are opened and hardened criminals are coming into this country.
Yeah,
Drugs are coming into this country, and police departments are being defunded. Is that a good scenario? Is
that's a
that
good.
is that an accurate scenario?
That's an accurate scenario of what's taking place. Not to mention the ones that are also hiring these illegals to become law enforcement. And again, your viewing audience can Google search it. It comes up. Even all the major news have even covered that part, where they know these illegals. Look at LAPD recruiting now. LAPD right over here in California is recruiting them every day, illegals. So is Chicago. So is New York. And that's out in your part of the country.
Hmm.
That's public record, Cynthia. Look it up.
Oh.
You'll see I'm correct.
So between I'm sorry,
No, go ahead.
between now and election day, what do you foresee happening?
I see the rioting in the streets continuing. I see the crime continuing. I see our cities being burned. I see the flags continually being burned. You know, the American people, for whatever reason, have lost their values and morals. I don't know. I don't know any other way to say it. It's like how people can be okay with watching our people, our children die from fentanyl, from being raped by these, I'll call them what they are, terrorists. A lot of these guys coming through that border are nothing but terrorists. And the federal government knows it. The Biden administration knows it. Kamala Harris knows it, but they're allowing it. So why would you want that kind of a destruction for America? Why are you setting our country up for destruction? That's my question to Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, as well as the rest of the Democrats. Why would you want this? Is that what you want, is death to America? Because then you're saying you don't care about your children, your grandchildren, their future, and the next generation's future, because you're the ones voting this crap in. And I don't know why anybody on any side of the aisle would be okay with this. Cynthia, I hate to rush. I've got a big interview on iHeartRadio coming up, and I cannot miss it. I'd love to be back on your show soon.
Great. Thank
We'll
you.
give you some more updates coming up. And we
Okay.
had a wonderful rally down here in Tucson, and excuse me, in Phoenix, right outside of Phoenix in Glendale suburb. And we've got a lot of people wanting America to get its act together. And we got a lot of the younger youths out here in Arizona getting involved that want to see change as well for the good. But we got to get the rest of America on board. We need to save this country while we can still save it.
Okay, Jonathan, I welcome you back on the show anytime you'd like to come on. You've been listening to Johnathon Alexander. I'm Cynthia Pooler. This is Issues That Matter. And if you like this show, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you like this show, take the link to the show and share it on your social media, because Johnathon's voice has to go all over the United States. Thanks, Johnathon. We'll talk again.
And
And
again, Cynthia, real quick, they can follow me on Facebook under Johnathon Townsend Alexander. Johnathon is Johnathon. And they can also follow me on livebordernews.com on Facebook, livebordernews.com on YouTube, also livebordernews.com on Rumble, and also I'm on X as well.
great. Johnathon, we'll talk again. Thank you.
All right, God bless you. God bless your viewing audience.
Thank you.
And we'll be talking again soon. This is Johnathon Alexander reporting.
Okay.